Welcome back, everyone, for another CBSI Hot 10 show. Make sure you go over to comicbookinvest.com and check out the article that I write, where I'll give you a few extra tidbits and details that I might not cover on the show tonight. Also, make sure you check out all of the shows we do have here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, you hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And if you want to see this week's Hot 10 list, just hang up for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back.
Notable sales.
All right, first up with our first notable sale, we had a bunch of heritage auctions go off this past week and a lot of new record highs for a lot of really interesting books. And this is one of them. Yes, I know Nathan Fillion doesn't look great with that haircut, comic accurate as it may be in those Superman trailers, but that hasn't stopped Green Lantern number 59, a CGC 9.8 with white pages, hit an all-time high of $30,000 this week. $30,000. Why is that impressive? Well, in 2023, the last 9.8 that sold was only for $9,000. Granted, it had off-white pages. It was part of a pedigree, but still, that's a huge jump in just 2 years. So, impressive sale, shiny-looking copy. I don't know what else to tell you, but Green Lantern, looking silly or not, this book hit a huge mark. And it's not the only one. As I said, another one that really stood out this week to me was this Amazing Spider-Man 238. This, first Hobgoblin. It's got the tattoos inside of it. And this was a CGC 9.9. Yes, a 9.9 of this book. And obviously, you don't see many of these things come across your way. So you're probably not surprised it hit an all-time high, but you may be surprised that it also crossed that 30,000 mark and sold for $31,200 this week. $31,200 for a 9.9 of this first Hobgoblin. Crazy price. One did sell way back in 2004 for only $2,700. So that is, again, a huge increase, albeit, 20 years ago, but still huge number on this book. And as I said, definitely made them notable, at least to me. And I thought they'd be interesting to share with all of you. Now, before we get into the Hot 10 list, speaking of 10, how about you save 10% off by using my code RENA10 over at BCW, because you need to get your bags, your boards, short boxes, long boxes, CGC boxes, top loaders, pages for cards, whatever you need to keep your comics and collectibles safe. You can get them over at BCW. And if you're going to spend that money, you might as well save some money while you do. You can use the link below. You can use my code RENA10 to save yourself 10% off. And with that said, 10% off, let's get into the top 10.
Number 10.
All right, our first book is Scarlet Witch number 7. We were watching this. I believe this was on the OLI last month because, hey, it's Jeff the Land Shark. It's Peach Momoko. A lot of people were interested in it. And it kind of lingered there a little bit. You'd see a couple of, sell for over cover, maybe double cover here or there. But it never really took flight until the last couple of weeks. This thing started to move, probably on the heels of all the Marvel Rivals covers. So I'm thinking that's probably some of the momentum that this has gained. But in the last couple of weeks, we've seen a couple dozen sell, and we're seeing averages of $16 and hitting highs of 20 now. So it's no longer just, hey, it's $8 or it's $10. It's getting more significant premiums, which is making this, open order variant. This was not an incentive. Shops could have ordered this one. It's just a Jeff the Land Shark cover there on that Scarlet Witch number 7. It's just starting to make some moves there on the market. Now, with that said, that is our number 10. Let's see what we have next at number 9.
Number 9.
Indie option news. That's right. Apparently a feature film may be in the works from IDW based off of Scott Snyder's Dark Spaces Dungeon series. So issue 1 has started to move. Legit, there was not much movement. There's a lot of incentives on this book as well. They're also moving, granted, for cheap prices. They're clearing out, but this book started to move with that news of a movie being made. Granted, 40 plus sales. Most of them are right around that cover price to start. But once all of those cleared out, we started seeing those increases. We start seeing double cover asks, $10, $12, etc. This even hit a high of $15 already based off of that news that we are getting a movie at some point. We don't even know when exactly the movie's coming, but we're going to be getting a movie. And they even followed that news up with a couple of other options for some of their properties that are going to be made into other films. But so far, this is the one that took center stage and started to move on the market. So take a look. Your shop probably still has some on the shelf for cover price. If you haven't come across them yet, maybe go digging and maybe you can come and find this. But with that said, let's keep this rolling and see what we got next.
Number 8.
So coming in at number 8, we still have Daredevil 14 hanging on to the list. It was much higher last week based off of, some of the more volume and some of the price increases that we saw from the last couple of weeks, but it's still doing very well. Number 11 is also selling well as selling in sets with this book, but this one has had the better hold, 14. As far as volumes go, it's increased. Last week, I think we had only like 15 plus, under 20. Now we're seeing a couple dozen sales on this one. The average has risen up on this cover alone up to $45, which is a decent increase from last week. And those sets are still about $150 raw for the 11s and 14s, which is the first appearance of Muse in 11, the first cover appearance of Muse on 14, and that excellent Dan Ocean cover there. It's CGC 9.8 even sold for almost $178 this week, which again ain't too bad for a book that, again, I think there was only around 110 not that long ago for those 9.8. So another decent jump in price there. So Daredevil Born Again, it's coming soon. I think we're only maybe a month away, thereabouts, a little over a month. I think it's coming in March. So we will eventually see Muse on screen, and folks are getting excited, and they're still running to pick this book up, which is why it's still hanging onto the list here at number 8. But with that said, we're going to keep it rolling and see what we got in our lucky spot.
Number 7.
So in lucky number 7, more movie news. Apparently we'll be getting a remake of From Hell, which I like the original. The Johnny Depp movie was, I think, pretty well done. You had Bilbo Baggins in it. It was an excellent tale. Jack the Ripper, in case you didn't know. This 10-issue series from Alan Moore and Eddie Campbell is a classic, and none were basically selling before this news that a remake was coming. So decent jump from nothing to about 20 sales this week, with prices quickly rising from next to nothing to averaging 15 to $20, hitting a high of 30 for that issue 1. But by and large, a lot of people want the whole run. We're seeing a lot of sets. So sets are selling, $50 to $60 now on average as we're getting near the end of the week. They started here, the 30 here, 40 there cleared out. So now the prices is kind of rising up for those 10-issue sets because, again, 10-issue series. Yes, the number 1 would be the first, I guess, but everybody wants to read the whole thing. And again, looking forward to this. Could be good. I like the original movie. Not sure how much different it would be, but hey, we'll see what happens. But with that said, let's keep it going and get to our number 6 book.
Number 6.
So coming in at number 6, we have The Amazing Spider-Man 194, the first appearance of the Black Cat. Lots of speculation on this character for the last few years. Lots of rumors that, yes, she'll be in the next Spider-Man movie. Yes, she'll be in the next Spider-Man movie. We've been hearing that forever. Still no confirmation that that will be the case. But in addition to those rumors about her showing up in the movies, we do have a lot of other profile-raising comic book appearances for the Black Cat, including, her showing up recently in ASM again. So she's in the current ASM run during the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. She also joined the Avengers, of all things. Yes, Black Cat joined the Avengers. So she's part of the main Avengers title right now as well. So her profile is rising. She may be in the next movie. So her book is moving a little bit more than it has been of late. Just this past week alone, volumes are up. I mean, they generally sell pretty consistently week after week. You'll see about 10 sales or so. But this past week, we saw over 25, nearly 30. And a raw hit $533 at auction for a raw, high-grade looking book, but it was still raw. Last week, the high raw sale was like 400 something. So another decent jump for that high range. But by and large, most of the sales we see in the raw kind of range or very fines, they could be anywhere from 6.0s, maybe 8s. those are selling for right around 200 bucks. A little higher, a little lower here and there, depending how you want to hedge. But that's kind of where these books are moving. But the really nice ones are getting really high premiums of late. So something to keep an eye on, and why this book found its way onto the list at number 6. And with that said, we still have the top half of the list to go. So let's not waste any time and let's get right into it.
Number 5.
So at number 5, I actually just talked about this book yesterday on Dollar Bin Digging, because rumors were hitting this week of the next villain in Black Panther. So for the next Black Panther movie, the villain could be this character, Achibi. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but he was created back in this 1999 run by Christopher Priest and Mark Teixeira. And they brought this book out, again, back in 99. The character was kind of created to be Black Panther's sort of Joker. So, kind of be that Joker type character for him. The villain makes a lot of sense for the movie, in my opinion. It's all rumor, nothing confirmed yet. So take it easy. Rumors can move, still move books, but it does make a lot of sense based on what this character is. Yes, Black Panther needs a big bad. We got lost Killmonger, so who's going to be the next big bad? Apart from that, could it be Denzel Washington playing him? Maybe Denzel will play somebody else. We don't know for sure what's happening, but the character has ties to Mephisto, which also will tie back to the Hood and tie back to Ironheart, which ties back to Black Panther 2. So there's a lot of connective tissue here with this rumor and what we could be getting in this next movie. So if you find this thing in dollar bins, which you probably still can, because this book got hot for a tiny bit, because it does have a cameo of that White Wolf. But that's kind of cooled off since we saw the quick, Bucky show up in the last Black Panther movie. But with that all said, go digging. I'm sure there's still cheap ones out there. A couple dozen sales so far this week, averaging $12, hitting highs of $22 already, from basically nothing. Again, last week there were basically no sales of the book. So a CGC 9.8 even sold for $90 this week. So it's just one of those things. Keep an eye out for it. You could probably dig for it for cheap, but who knows? Nothing may come of this. But it's a rumor for now. We'll see where that goes. And with that said, let's move it on to our next book.
Number 4.
Coming in at number 4, we have the prequel comic series to the new animated series over on Disney Plus, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I still have yet to have time to watch this. I'm going to watch it this weekend, going to check it out, but I've heard nothing but good things. I was personally not really excited for this, like not needing another animated Spider-Man series, especially one that's not even really directly tied to the MCU. It's more a loosely another timeline kind of thing, kind of connected, sort of, kind of maybe. Wasn't really excited for it, but from what I hear, it's actually pretty good. And I think people are starting to enjoy it, and I think it could possibly have some X-Men 97 effects on some of these comics. So it could be something to keep an eye on, because as of right now, this was a cover price book for a while. Like just sitting out there, just sitting on shelves. There are 3 open order covers. There is a 1 in 25 incentive as well, but these books are just sitting there doing nothing. And this past week, yes, a lot of copies did sell for cover price, but since those ones cleared out, we're starting to see more. With over 40 sales, highs are hitting now $10 to $15 all of a sudden. So could this be following in the footsteps of X-Men 97? Possibly. We'll see how long that lasts, as they're kind of trickling out episodes in chunks, which is an interesting release format for them. So we'll see what happens. Could it also see some movement on some of the characters they introduce and revamp? Possibly. It's another thing to watch. So make sure you check out my Outside Looking In, because kind of hit up on that topic a little bit with that particular list. But for right now, at number 4, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 1. The cover A seems to be moving better than the B and C covers. One of them is an AF-15 homage, but this seems to be the one that a lot of folks are gravitating towards, probably because it is the cover A. But with that said, let's keep it going, as we still have our top 3 to get to.
Number 3.
All right, coming in at number 3, I did have to alter this image because I cannot show this. This is not suitable for all viewers. So there is a special polybagged edition for Hello Darkness number 7 that came out this week. It is polybagged and covered, so you do not get to see the cover art. It does have a higher retail price of $7.99, so it's going to be a little bit of a higher buy-in, but these things are moving already. We're seeing copies going from already up to an average of $12 after those $8 regular cover price ones cleared out. It's averaging $12 now based off of a lot of $20 sales as of late. So that seems to be the high, and the last few sales have hit that high mark of $20. So we'll see. Has it hit the ceiling already? I don't know, but it's only been out 2 days, and it's already going up a bit for this edition. I also don't know how many copies would be ordered by shops considering the poly bags. Not everybody loves buying poly bags because you don't know what's in it. You don't know what's in it. You can't see it on the shelf. You just see that it's covered up and closed, and you're kind of buying on a blind. But we got a good idea what it looks like. It is a gorgeous cover, and if you want to see the full thing, you're going to have to buy yourself a copy or go check it out online, and then you can see what's behind that Rennavision logo if you're that interested. But with that all said, we've got 2 more books left, so let's keep it rolling and see what we got left.
Number 2.
So coming in at number 2, dropping a spot from last week's number 1's position, we have Fantastic Four number 28, that Marvel Rivals Peach Momoko cover coming in here once again. Galacta, Jeff the Landshark, still selling well. Peach Momoko, nice cover. Also, another reason this is selling well. The start of the Doom event helps, I think. But a lot of movement still. Volume's down a tiny bit, which is why it did lose pole position from that top spot. But still, an impressive 120 plus sales, considering the average is $22 still. Pretty close to where it was, around that $20 mark. It's right around that 20, 25, all over the place. High still hitting around 50. CGC 9.8 pre-sale even sold for $120 already for this. So I'm not a big fan of pre-sales on 9/8s, but I do like to use it as a marker because, hey, people are ready and willing to pay it. So is that going to be the floor for a 9/8? I don't know. I guess we'll see. But this book is still moving very well. It was the last Marvel Rivals cover. There are sets that sell for $130, $150 for all 5 covers or different chunks of the covers. It's a crazy thing with this book. But again, this one's doing very well, I think, based off of a number of factors. So keep an eye out for it. Maybe you got lucky and you can go and still find one out there at a shop somewhere near you. But with that said, we've got 1 book left. Let's see what it is.
And our number 1.
Taking over the top spot from last week, they flip-flopped. Spawn issue 356, the Mark Spears Spawn cover. This one climbs from number 2 into that top spot based off of a jump in volume and a jump in price. 90 plus sales this week, increasing that volume significantly from last week. Average of $25, which was last week's high. Now this week's high is $38 raw for this Spawn cover by Mark Spears. I know we're supposed to be getting a Spawn 77 series from Mark sometime later this year. He has done a couple of other Spawn covers prior to this, or except for this one and since this one. So keep an eye on those ones as well. I may have a couple of those on the outside looking in as well, because why just this one? Why not all of them? I don't know, but we will soon see what happens. But so far this week, this has been a book of choice of many, and it comes in and claims that top spot with a jump in price and a jump in volume. And with that all said, that's all I got for you this week. But don't leave just yet. Make sure you stick around. Right after I'm done here, the boys on the Qualified will be starting up a new show taking aim at magazines. Yes, they've got new topics every week. They've got a lot of fun different segments. They will be covering that outside looking in that I keep mentioning. They also will be taking a look at a number of magazines from like those Conans. You got Eries, Vampirillas, a lot of cool stuff to cover. Make sure you stick around and check out what the boys got in store for you. Come back tomorrow for Saturday Night Special. Star Wars on Sunday. Come Monday, I'll have another Wednesday watch list and plenty more content coming to you from all of us here at Rennavision. So with that said, I'll see you all later with some more content. All right? Bye.